We've had lots of people asking us, what do you have in your kit bag? Because there's loads of photography kit bags around as well. So what we did was we had a look at this bag. This is my special bag. This is my go everywhere bag. I have a couple of bags. So I've got bags for specific jobs like recording proper sound effects. So I'll show you those bags in a later episode, which is my field recorder and my mics and all the leads and everything you need to go and record sound effects somewhere. So I'll go through all those units with you, and we'll go and have a look at that. But this is my fun bag. This is the bag that I take everywhere. When I'm going for a walk with the dog in the morning, myself and Coco, we go down the park and we bring this. And we bring this to the mountains, and we go out in our boat and we bring this. And why we bring this is because it's for sound design. Capturing ideas for sound design, capturing actual sound design. So anything I'm recording, I will try and record as best a quality as I can and get as close to the source as I can. So this is the fun stuff. So I might as well get going on it. Hang on a second. The older ones among you will remember iAmiga drives between 250 meg and 125 meg per disc. iAmiga in the 1990s, I think it was. This is an iAmiga drive bag from back and then. And it is really important to grab yourself a proper bag whenever you can, because one, you have an awful lot of kit in there. You want to keep it dry, you want to keep it clean, you want to keep it safe. So always think about your bag in the first place. There's my headphones. They don't fit in my bag, but hey, what are you going to do? So I have an iPad. My iPad, I have loads of different software on there, and I have loads of uses for this as a recorder, as an editor. We'll go through that in a minute. I also have, because of the bulk of an iPad and you're trying to walk around with an iPad, it can be very bulky and tricky to walk around with and get into angles. I have an iPod Touch as well. Be really careful if you're buying a second-hand iPod Touch or iPad or something like that for audio, because an awful lot of the software doesn't work on the older iOSs. So you have to be really careful of what software and hardware you're buying, and make sure you have those working on your older Apple products. The iPhone, iTouch, iPad, iStuff. So first things first, fluffy ears. Fluffy ears are not fluffy ears, they're windjammers from Rycote. Best windjammers you're going to get. So you're not going to get any wind on your recordings and destroy your recordings. So these go onto all of my recorders. So there's your Rycotes. I've got two of those for two different recorders. Here's another one, but this is much smaller because this is covering my IXY from Rode. It's a stereo pair of mics, and the stereo pair of mics literally go and click into your iPod Touch, iPhone, iPad, and you have now got a stereo field recorder. And we did a show on getting sound effects and stuff like that, or wild track for directors. And I was suggesting, get one of these. If you have an iPhone and you just plug it in, there you go. Now you have a field recorder. So they are really, really high quality. It's an IXY from Rode, really high quality microphones. And of course you have your windjammer for that as well. The next thing we have is these crazy dogs. This is a Sennheiser Ambio Smart headset, and if you notice, not only are they headphones, but there's microphones on there as well for recording binaural sound. And the binaural sound is basically gives you the best perspective of what you're listening to. So you put these on like so, and you plug that into your iPod Touch, your iPhone, or your and now you're recording binaural sound. So binaural sound is giving you the actual ambience the natural sound that your ears are going to hear in a scene. So if you imagine me shooting something on an iPhone or on an iPad, I plug this in, I'm shooting on my iPad. So there's a sound source that I'm looking at. I turn around and I'm still looking at so the perspective of the viewer listening to the audio from these, now that audio source is there, so the natural movement of the head is followed with the movement of the camera. So sweeps, pans, all that sort of stuff. If you're shooting on an iPad or iPhone, it's really extraordinary, and it really puts the person in the space. And this is my old friend, my old dog, my old buddy. This is a thing I've gone high and low with. This is my H2N. The reason I love this so much is because you get so many different methods of recording. I've got XY, I've got MS, and I've got 4-channel surround. There's a 2-channel surround as well, but that's worth playing with. So this recorder, if I want a stereo recording, if I want a surround recording, I literally just bring this everywhere, and it just allows me to record in all these different means. So anything I record, even in 4-track, the quad recordings, you know, I can use those even in movies. The caps on these are really, really, really nice. I've just pulled out a handle. The handle is there, and it basically gets rid of hand noise traveling through the recorder and onto the caps, which really can destroy recordings. You put your Rycote on there, that's on there, and you're ready to go. Simple. So there's a suspension mount as well from this handle, and make sure that there's no movement going into the recorder and it's isolated. I generally have a tripod with me as well, so if I wanted to pop that up on a tripod and keep any sort of vibrations away from the recorder, I can pop it on there. So that's my H2N with the Rycote, and that is a wonderful piece of kit. We go everywhere. I've lost a couple of those to recording situations, like the sea taking them out or whatever else. The next thing I have here is a really interesting recorder. It's called the H3VR from Zoom. So if I'm recording in any of my stereo areas, you're recording this way and this way at 45 degrees, and it's flat. That's where it is. That's where the sound is. That's where it picks up. Whereas naturally, in the natural world, we're surrounded completely by upstairs noise, downstairs noise, around, behind you, everywhere. So we listen in a 360 field. Stereo doesn't capture that correctly. Stereo is a pseudo trying to give you a representation of what you're looking at. This actually records in full 360, so it's the whole sphere around it. Behind you, above you, under you, everything. This records the whole lot. There's different modes, you know, binaural, stereo, etc. But this essentially records in 360. And the great thing about this mic is it's fully controllable with the iPad app. I can connect the iPad up to this and have control over absolutely every aspect of it, right down to even the metadata, typing in exactly what's going on with which file, naming it, and, you know, stuff like that. So the iPad app, I can walk away 28 feet and still be able to control this. So I can get really close to a source that might be a little more risky, you know, at the side of a road, and I can put the thing at the source, which is, you know, might be a little dangerous, so I can move back and I hit record and change my levels and everything on the iPad app here. So super little recorder, and it's amazing. Some of the recordings you can get from this is extraordinary, and to sit there and listen to it with headphones on is quite brilliant. Love that little recorder. So that's the Zoom H3VR. Lovely, lovely machine. Oh, and of course, don't go anywhere without a power bank. Power banks are super essential for all your stuff, especially with the batteries on iPads and iPod touches and all sorts of machines that can just die on you. I check my batteries every single week on this. There's battery indicators on each machine, so I know exactly how much battery I have for absolutely everything. Now, the la pièce de résistance. This is a toy that I bought this year, actually, just a few months ago. And it is a hydrophone. And a hydrophone is a microphone that goes underwater without destroying all your gear and destroying any microphones. And this is brilliant. It goes under the water, it records fishes and boats and all sorts of stuff. I use it out in my boat. Myself and Coco go out there and we just record underwater ambiences. And it's amazing the differences of ambience that you can get, you know, from places like a main port to go up the coast, you know, 2 miles, and the different ambiences that you're going to hear with a hydrophone is extraordinary. And you can also hear the health of the water that you're in currently. With this, if there's more noise, there's more life. I mean noise, natural noise, as opposed to ship engines and stuff like that. But it is amazing, and I also use it as a contact mic. So for designing sound effects, it's really, really cool for putting into contact on different surfaces, tape it down and do some recordings on there, you know, using different noises and using this to pick up that sort of noise. It gives you a whole different timbre to the noise, and you can play with that. That records directly into the H2N. So I bring the H2N and the hydrophone out on the boat, or I can go out to rock pools and listen to limpets scratching at the rocks, or whelks walking around, or clicking shrimps, and it's just absolutely extraordinary. It brings you, immerses you in a whole world that we're not used to, and it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful piece of kit. I love that. And as I say, get yourself a decent bag. But that ultimately is what I carry in my camera bag, for want of a better term, in that I go anywhere and I have the means to record anything, anywhere, with all sorts of different methods, whether it's 360, binaural, surround, stereo. I have everything covered in the one small unit. It's light, and I just throw it on my back. I go, and if I hear something that I want to capture, birds, air, water, if I'm up the mountains and I happen to be going for a lovely walk, brilliant, pull this out, get some ambience while I'm there. Why not? Add it to the sound effects library. So that's what it allows me to do. It allows me to go out and record and find stuff and ideas, and it's just the most, it's taken me a long time to come up with this bag and what it does and what I have. And it does an awful lot of jobs really, really, really well. It doesn't do amazing jobs in other fields, but for what I use it for, it's really, really, really effective. So if you're looking to get your own bag together, have a think about it. Have a real good think about it. Put a unit into a bag, go for a walk, see is the right unit for that moment. Or find a unit for you that is good to go into a field, up a mountain, out in a boat, and just give yourself a little diversity, so you're not stuck to one way of recording or one way of dealing with the situation. That you have options, giving yourself options. It's lightweight and it's mobile, and that's what I have in this bag. Thanks for watching. I'm Keith Alexander, and you've been watching Adorama TV. Don't forget to subscribe to Adorama TV for more great videos, and tell us what you think. You can like, comment, or share this video. And please come by the Adorama Learning Centre for more information and advice.